They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman, coming from poverty, and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
People don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you.
Don't worry about it. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Napoleon Hill Institute training. We are blessed to be here every Wednesday, and we are fired up today because we are doing a special Identity Creates Income training. So many people are so disciplined. They're so disciplined in working. They forget to make money. They're so disciplined in working, they forget to spend time with their family. They're so disciplined in working, they forget to spend time on their health. I'm here to show you how to create an identity and an income at the same time. And it is your identity, your frequency that creates that. I want to remind everybody we have our Orange County Mastermind. Come and join us at our Mastermind in Orange County. We're going to be in New York twice. Come and see us there, New York and New Jersey, Investor Masterminds. I call it the car wash. That means if I say it's a car wash, it's interviews, holding courts, meetups, mastermind, or maybe it's a TV show, documentary, whatever it is. But the car wash is meetup, holding court, interviews, and speeches. Come and see us. The cities we're going to be in, we're going to be in Orange County, we're going to be in LA, we're going to be in Phoenix, we're going to be in Las Vegas. We're going to be at the Masters. Come Come and see us. Masters Mastermind, probably one of the greatest things you could do. We're having a stem cell mastermind. You get two different treatments and education. So come and see us. Orange County, LA's missing there, but Las Vegas, Phoenix, for two different things, and New York's missing there. So I don't know where Gigi's getting these cities. We're missing a ton of shit. So let's get on top of where we're going to be. Orange County, Vegas, Phoenix, New York, New Jersey, and the Masters. Come and join us. If you want to be informed, and my team, I suggest you maybe join as well to be informed and invited. 949-298-2905. 949-298-2905. Or email me, david@dmeltzer.com. All right, enough dilly-dallying around. Remember, don't do business with Dick and don't be a dick. Leave that up to me, I guess, today. But I'm glad to have everybody here. We are going to do Identity Creates Income training. If you're into making money, helping people, and have a lot of fun, you're at the right place. Most of us focus on tactics when we want to increase our income. We focus in on strategy and all the different systems and structures. We search for better strategies, better marketing, better sales, better opportunities. While those tools absolutely matter, they are not the true starting point of financial growth. Income is not created by strategy alone. Income is created by identity. Our beliefs about who we are determine how we make decisions, how we communicate value, and how we position ourselves in the marketplace. If our identity is misaligned with the level of opportunity we want to create, our results will remain limited because our self-image is limited by this internal ceiling that we have set by ourselves, by a participation in a perception. When we shift our identity, how we see ourselves, our self-image, and how we serve others, and how we communicate value will naturally begin to create a new level, a new frequency, a new awareness of income, of revenue. This training, which is available to everybody, if you email me, david@dmeltzer.com, I will send you not only the training and the exercises, but my book. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The training today will explore 6 different lessons on how to show identity shapes opportunity, influence, and ultimately the income that we earn. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, if you'd like this training. Lesson number 1 of Identity Creates Income is our identity determines the opportunities that we're pursuing. The size, scope, and scale of those opportunities, the number of opportunities, the amount of time that we spend on those opportunities, the opportunities that we pursue, and the ones we believe we deserve are shaped by our identity. When we see ourselves as someone who creates value, we naturally move towards environments where value is exchanged at higher levels. That means with more zeros. So many entrepreneurs may have the same skills, but when one identifies as a freelancer trying to survive, while the other identifies as a trusted advisor helping businesses grow, the difference in identity is what changes the clients they pursue and the perceived value and bottom line, in other words, the prices that they charge. Our marketplace of value expands when our identity expands. We must define our identity and align it with what's doing well, what's stable, and what we think is doing well, and of course, align it synergistically with those capabilities of the skills, knowledge, and desire, supplementary with the skills, knowledge, and desire, with the level of opportunity we would like to create for ourselves, our businesses, our product, solution, or service. We must evaluate whether our daily behaviors, not only of what we're focused in on each and every day, non-negotiably, negotiably, according to the circumstances, not according to the circumstances, but our daily actions, what we say, do, think, feel, and believe, are they reinforcing or contradicting our identity? Identity matters because our identity determines the opportunities we pursue. And if you would like the exercise of alignment with the skills, knowledge, and desire of what's doing well, what's stable, what you think is doing well, how to create those synergies and supplementary opportunities, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 2. Our identity shapes how we communicate that value. When we underestimate the value that we provide, how we give more of what people like, more of what they know, more of what's working, or maybe we're taking away what they don't like, what they don't know, or what's not working. When we underestimate the value we provide, the marketplace often reflects that same uncertainty of not knowing the value of what it helped you with and being able to articulate that value in a comfortable and confident manner, which creates the perceived value after we figure out the math of our bottom line. Our confidence and comfortability and the impact that we create directly affects how we and others perceive value. The comfortability and the confidence is the only criteria of perceived value. Math is the only criteria of bottom line value, and that our identity shapes in how we communicate that value. So many consultants that I work with deliver tremendous results, but they hesitate to charge appropriately because they still see themselves as someone who is just getting started or needs to get the business or isn't worth what they think they're worth. This is your identity. It's shaping how you communicate your value energetically, genetically, mathematically, and of course with confidence and comfortability and perceived value. Perceived value is only based off of your communication in its comfort and confidence. So you need to practice it. People ask me how to get better at articulating value. How do I get better at asking for more money? Practice. Always the same answer. Identify the practices and behaviors that are aligned with where you want to be or better, and shorten the distance of resistance of the ones that are interfering with it. The marketplace responds to one thing: perceived value. And perceived value begins with our own belief, our own feeling, our own thoughts. And then they are articulated and acted upon in confidence and a comfortable manner. And that intention will create the coincidences, the outcomes that we create. Because what we pay attention to and what we give intention to within the context of our expanding identity will equal the coincidences, the coinciding of the universe, the outcomes that we help create. Identity is the measurable, quantitative outcomes that we help others achieve. And if you want to know how we can communicate that within the context of our identity and how our identity shapes the communication of that, you need to know how people perceive value by what they like, what they don't like, what they know, what they don't know, by what works and what doesn't work. Identify these quantifiable measurements in the outcomes that we help others achieve and their perceived value, and articulate that value to exceed what we're asking for with confidence and comfort. We must practice. We must practice every day, because 2 minutes a day of practice is worth 2 hours on a Saturday. We need to practice communicating not only the value, the capabilities, the skills, the knowledge, and our desires, but the outcomes to provide more of or take away some to help others achieve the outcomes that are clear and confidently articulated to exceed what we're asking for. That is how our identity shapes how we communicate value, to understand perceived value and bottom line. If you would like the exercise on how to convey value of what you like, don't like, what you know, what you don't know, what's working, what's not working, email me, for that exercise, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 3. Our identity will drive our behaviors that we want to practice. You see, our behaviors, non-negotiable or negotiable, paid for or unpaid for, planned or unplanned. It is our behaviors and our habits habitually of the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential within the context of disciplined, divine, devotional behavior, and the actions of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe are the expression, the amplification of our identity. It could even be called a reflection, not just an expression. When our identity shifts energetically, genetically, when our identity shifts in our own feelings and beliefs and thoughts, our behaviors begin to align with what's doing well, what's stable, what we think is doing well. They begin to align with a new perspective, a new identity, and able and capable of articulating that identity in the form of perceived value, confidently and comfortably, to exceed what you're asking for. And if we identify as devotional professionals, not disciplined, don't be so disciplined working you forget to make money. Don't be so disciplined working you forget to spend time with your family. Don't be so disciplined working you forget to take care of your health. But instead, we identify as devotional, discipline in a divine direction, to spend time making money, to spend time with our family, to spend time on our health. Devotionally, discipline in a divine direction, we actually approach preparation, learning, and the decision-making differently. Because we now identify as someone who is pursuing our potential, not identifying as someone who is simply trying to get by or survive. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We operate at the level of our identity. I'm going to repeat that. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We operate at the level of our identity. Therefore, we must ask ourselves and others, what would someone, or what would I, or what would we, with this identity, want to do today in alignment with my divine direction, according to the circumstances of the day? Then we can alter the meaning of the past, the relativity of the past, the defining moments, the mistakes, setbacks, failures, historical relevance in the past. And not only are we aligning in a disciplined, devotional manner with the divine direction, but we are aligning the meaning of the past, our self-identity created by the meaning of the past, of the setbacks, failures, mistakes, defining moments, and historical relevances. We are aligning the meaning of the past with our divine direction in the future, because it is only your identity. It is only your self-limit, your self-image that will limit you, and you never will overachieve your identity. You never will overachieve your own self-image. We need to build non-negotiables. Non-negotiables, activity that we assign time every single day that will reinforce that identity consistently every day, persistently, without quit, in the pursuit of your potential, your expanding identity, not what other people want from you or for you, not what's missing, not what you don't have, and definitely not what social media is telling you want. If you would like to have the divine direction exercise, to create the routines of non-negotiable and negotiable behavior by utilizing the divine direction in the meaning of the past, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. David means beloved. Meltzer means servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Email me, David at first initial D, last name Meltzer, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 4. Our identity influences the rooms and the frequency of our neighborhood that we belong to. The community is influenced by our identity. I will repeat that. Our community is influenced by our identity. The environments in which we place ourselves, which is what I talk about in, of course, Don't Do Business with Dicks here behind me. Let me move this actually to even a better brand here, as this is the Napoleon Hill training. All right. The community itself, the environments that we place ourselves in, determines the effective communication that we're having with our community. The relationships, the relativity that we form in this community, the associations that we are creating in the community, and the feeding that we receive with the opportunities in our community. All are influenced by our identity. When we walk in a room, when we participate in a conversation, when we leave the room, when we follow up, when we create a go, no-go plan, our identity is what influences the community. When we identify ourselves as equals among leaders and innovators, and then make ourselves different, when we seek out the communities where those conversations are happening, rather than staying comfortable, high, broke, and sick on our mom's couch, an environment, a community that limits our growth. Are you comfortable in your community? Then get out. Get into a learning community of people that want to help each other and know people that help each other. Get into an expanding identity that influences the community and allows it to influence you. Our identity determines the communities in which we participate in according to the relativity association and the feeding of that community by helping one another and knowing people to help one another as we feel more comfortable and confident, not only entering, but participating and exiting those communities. Know the teams you play on and what position on the team that you are playing with according to subject matter, topic, and expertise of the community, the frequency of that community. Intentionally place yourselves and ourselves in the communities where the level of thinking, the vibration, the awareness, the frequency matches the identity we want to become. We want to develop the skills, knowledge, and desires. The fastest way to get to where we want to be is find someone that's already there in the community and ask them for direction so we're able and capable of helping other people get to where we are. We must be intentional of seeking these relationships with people who challenge us. We've heard a million times, if I'm the smartest one in the room, I'm in the wrong room. No shit, Sherlock. We need to expand not only our identity, but our perspective of who we want to become. And it is all determined by the neighborhoods, the teams that we're playing on. And if you're playing on a team, know the position according to subject matter, topic, and expertise, and find someone in that team, in that community that already is playing a position you want to play. And also find people that want to play your position so you can teach them, because the fastest way to get to where you want to be is to help other people get to where they want to be and ask for help to get to where you want to be. If you want the community exercise of expanding your identity that's influencing your community, if you want to get the criteria exercise of relativity, association, and feeding, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 5. Our identity is what builds our reputation. It is our identity, our self-image that builds our reputation. People are going to love you no matter what. You might as well have the higher frequency of people that love you no matter what, because the people that love you no matter what have the exact same frequency as you. And you must be aware that 10% of the people who try to attack you and diminish your reputation, they're going to hate you no matter what. But stay persistent in the growth of your identity, which will create a growth of your reputation, and it will allow the people who are attacking you to be protected, promoted, loved, and perfected from. Our income and our identity, they will compound when our reputation compounds in alignment with the divine direction of who we want to become based off of our values, daily practices, and our execution of that. Our reputation grows when our identity and our actions remained aligned with the divine direction over time in a persistent manner. Doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing every single day in the divine direction and aligning the meaning of the past in that way. When we consistently, persistently, in the pursuit of our potential and our identity that we want to become, demonstrate gratitude for perspective, empathy for ease, accountability for control, and effective communication for the inspiration of others and self, people will begin to associate, become relevant, and feed us those qualities within us, which attract greater opportunities that will expand and compound, accelerate, and aggregate upon themselves. Things will happen very slowly, then all of a sudden, when our identity builds our reputation. It is the clarity, the harmony, and consistency in our identity that will build the faith, the trust in this community. We must define our core values, gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication that will represent our personal and our professional identities and what we want to become. We must ensure our daily interactions, our effective communication, consistently, persistently in the pursuit, that they reflect at all times the values that we have and the divine direction that we want to be in, categorizing it as what? Either aligned with where I want to be or better, or interfering with it. If you would like a value exercise about gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, for the value exercise. david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 6. Our identity creates long-term income and legacy of wealth. You see, short-term tactics can create a temporary result, a blip on your revenue screen, an account, but it is identity that will create a sustainable source of income and revenue, identity that influences every decision that we make, that will accelerate, aggregate, and compound exponentially. When we identify ourselves as a long-term builder of wealth, of legacy, and when we pay attention to and give intention to by doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing in our relationships, in our reputation, and in the articulation of value to exceed what we're asking for by creating that value rather than a quick transaction, a trade, a negotiation, a quid pro quo. Our identity will build the wealth exponentially. Things will happen very slowly, then all of a sudden. Income, revenue is not simply the result of effort. Like I said, so many people are disciplined, working, they forget to make money all the time. So many people are busy, disciplined, working, they forget to make money. But the income is a reflection of our identity in which we consistently express and reflect from within to outside of us. You will never find the income outside of you that you don't find an identity that is aligned with that income inside of you. Because you won't do, say, think, feel, and believe it. You won't be comfortable and confident in articulating that value to exceed what you're asking for. We must shift our focus from asking, how do I make money? To asking, who do we need to become in order to make enough money or more than enough money to help others and to have fun? We must make the daily decisions and align it with the divine direction in the meaning of the past that will reinforce the identity of what we want to embody and become, not for the sake of being happy when, but for the sake of helping others and providing more value than we ask for. Our identity creates this long-term wealth, a legacy of wealth, economic wealth, health wealth, social wealth, mental wealth, No short-term tactics are going to get you there. If you cut the line, you're going to go to the back of the line. You must do the work, and it starts with our identity. It is our identity that creates our income. Our identity determines the opportunities that we pursue. Our identity shapes how we communicate that value in a comfortable, confident way, articulating that value to exceed what we're asking for. It is our identity that will drive the behaviors, the non-negotiable, negotiable behaviors in alignment with the divine direction and aligning the meaning of the past in that divine direction. So we are devotional, not disciplined. It is our identity that will influence the communities that we enter, that we participate in, and that we exit. It is our identity that will build our reputation through the values of gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication and reflection and expression of that community and reputation. It is our identity that will create the long-term wealth that we desire for the sake of helping others, because when we're able and capable of helping others, we're closest to God. I'm going to repeat that, because when we're able and capable of helping other people, we're closest to God. When we understand that identity creates income, our attention and our intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe shifts from chasing results to developing the expansive self to see inside of us what we want to reflect and express outside of us. The marketplace responds to clarity and harmony, consistency, confidence, and comfortability. When we see ourselves as people who create meaningful value and can articulate that value to exceed what we're asking for, communicate it differently, build stronger relationships, and position ourselves in those communities where opportunity flows and influences, the money will go much more naturally. Income then becomes a byproduct of this alignment. The alignment of our divine direction with the meaning of the past and what we want to become, with the consistent, persistent pursuit of that potential. When our identity reflects and expresses service and credibility and contribution, this community begins to recognize and acknowledge and reward that value. And over time, this alignment will allow the opportunities and the income to compound, accelerate, aggregate, and compound your identity of what you want to become to create income that you want to generate. It is your identity that will create this income. If you would like the Identity Creates Income training, or any of the exercises in each of these lessons, or my book, Don't Do Business with Dicks, email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. This has been the Napoleon Hill Institute training, Identity Creates Income. Come and see us, please, in Orange County, LA, Phoenix, Las Vegas, New York, New Jersey, Augusta, Georgia for the Masters, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to be invited and informed, just text me 949-298-2905. That'll keep you informed and invited. But most importantly, email me if you want my books, guides, or exercises, david@dmeltzer.com. Be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Hit it, Gigi.
They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman coming from poverty and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
People don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you.